We welcome you to Naples for round 2 of the Snowbird Derby from the Paradise Coast, where surging FC Naples looks to continue its hot streak against a reeling Westchester bunch. Tonight's match is presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System, care for every goal. We say hello and welcome from the Paradise Coast Sports Complex. I'm Sam Goldfarb, thrilled to bring you all of the action here at round 2 of this newfound rivalry. And if round 1 is any indication, we should be in for a doozy. Westchester getting off to the flying start on July 12th. Obregon brought down in the area inside 15 minutes and delivering from the spot to put Westchester in front. But then a familiar match script reared its ugly head for the Golden Apple. Jaden Onan equalizing off this excellent training ground routine in the late stages of the first half. And then at the death, Carson Henderlong shrugging off Rashid Teta and driving it into the bottom right to secure a come-from-behind victory for FC Naples. And that has prompted an unbeaten run, and when you look at the way these teams have fared since that match, Naples getting on far better. Only 4 goals conceded, back-to-back clean sheets entering tonight. Meanwhile, for Westchester, defensively leaking goals at the moment. 13 goals allowed. The only win in that span, a forfeit victory over Spokane Velocity. It's now time for our Players to Watch, presented by Parker Hudson Homes. And for FC Naples, it is a returnee to the 11. Jaden Onan missing 6 matches due to injury. He is back on the right flank. Someone who, of course, scored in the last Westchester match and is a menace on the counter, looking to continue that hot form in his return to the squad this evening. On the opposite end of things for Westchester, it's Erman Makic, a first-year pro who scored his first professional goal last week in the defeat against Portland Hearts of Pine. He's someone Dave Carton says is a relentless presser and now beginning to get reward for that on the score sheet. We'll see if he can continue that here in Naples this evening. We are just about set for the second meeting of the Snowbird Derby in as many months here in Naples. It is an FC Naples squad looking to continue its 7-match unbeaten run. Westchester hoping to snap out of a winless rut itself. Stick with us. We'll be right back with lineups and kickoff here from Naples.
Hey, same shirt.
Is it?
Well, yours is new, obviously.
It only looks new. That's because he takes it to Tide Cleaners, where we keep clothes looking newer 50% longer. At Tide Cleaners, we care about your clothes as much as you do.
How's it look?
Newer 50% longer.
Awesome.
Hey, same order.
Head to my.tidecleaners.com to get started.
Luxury isn't just about where you live, it's about how you live. At Parker Hudson Homes, we craft bespoke residences where elegance meets effortless comfort. From custom builds to refined remodels, every detail is designed around you, your style, your vision, your way of living. Create a home that's truly yours and discover Parker Hudson Homes today.
Here on Florida's Paradise Coast, you can play your way. Whether you prefer an action-packed court, a leisurely round of golf, or the thrill of watching a professional soccer match, your only challenge is finding a way to do it all. So visit a luxurious playground that scores big for everything from its award-winning beaches to its incredible restaurants. Because when you want a vacation where all is perfect, only Paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
We welcome you back to the Paradise Coast Sports Complex in Naples, Florida, where we are just about set for kickoff in the second rendition of the Snowbird Derby. It's FC Naples and Westchester SC in this clash of expansion clubs. It's now time for our starting lineups, presented by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, big enough to handle serious cases small enough to care. And for FC Naples and Matt Poland, it is just 2 changes. Of course, the welcome return of Jaden Onan back to the squad this evening. Meanwhile, Kevin O'Connor, after cannoning an effort off the crossbar on Wednesday in that scoreless draw against One Knox, is into the squad as well. Otherwise, pretty straightforward for Naples, a pretty identical 11 to what we've seen in the past. For Westchester SC, though, also sponsored by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, they make a couple of big changes, and the big one comes between the sticks. Westchester going out and signing Enrique Facuse on Tuesday, and he makes his debut between the sticks for the Golden Apple. Meanwhile, Erman Makic, Obregon, and Sadie round out the front 3. Keep your eye as well on Deshane Beckford, who joined from Hartford Athletic on loan. He's on the subs bench here tonight. He may feature in the second half. We're just about ready to get things going. FC Naples back on their home patch, where they have been sensational this season. Only 2 defeats in all competitions this year, in Westchester hoping to be the team that throws the spanner in the works on that front. Right now, Naples in untouchable form. We've mentioned it. 7 unbeaten in the league since that victory over Westchester on this very ground on July 12th. And it's a Westchester side that is desperate to set that right and end that unbeaten run. A team that entered the evening 8 points off playoff pace. As far as Naples goes, it was up and down throughout the summertime. Their cushion between themselves and the playoff line at one point knifed to just 3 points. It is buoyed back up to 10 in the wake of this unbeaten stretch. We await our lead official, Carlos Rodriguez's signal. It is Naples going from right to left on your screen in the classic blue with white numbers, Westchester in their away white strip with the black numbers from left to right. And we are underway from one of the best home pitch advantages in USL League One. FC Naples playing in front of their home faithful yet again this evening, looking to make it 6 points from 6 against their newfound derby foes. Sam Goldfarb excited to take you every step of the way here tonight. As we've already mentioned, a Naples team that got off to the fast start, did go through its summer wobble, but tightening back up defensively. Matt Poland mentioning that that was a huge point of emphasis in the midst of that rockier rut in late June and early July. And oh, have things stabilized since. Westchester, they'd love a semblance of stability at the back. They're hoping the newcomer Facuse between the sticks can provide it. And here is Facuse's first touch. No real trouble for the new signing at 26 years of age, joining from FC Motagua, the Honduran Giants, on Tuesday. Someone who does have experience in the States, though, was a standout goalkeeper for 4 years at the University of Kentucky. 1 year as a sophomore, led the nation in clean sheets with 14. Well, as far as Naples goes, a squad that could use a goal or two in the midst of this unbeaten run. It's back-to-back draws entering tonight. Hit the crossbar multiple times against Knoxville on Wednesday as Henderlong is ruled offside. This is an excellent flick on. Guzin onto it, cuts it across. Henderlong couldn't quite reach it. There is the warning shot from Westchester, a side that will look to boss the run of play. In some ways, Naples may feel that plays into their hands, a side at its best on the counterattack. So it is a clash of styles that Dave Carton, when I spoke to him on the phone this week, mentioned he was familiar with. He mentioned the importance of taking your chances, and this the first of them. That ball from Guzin just beyond the reach of Obregon, but that is the style of play that Dave Carton hopes his side will exert over the course of these 90 minutes. Now time for our keys to the game, presented by Naples Marco Islands Everglades. For Naples, rapid counterattacks are the name of the game. A side that is at its best on the break, scores the bulk of its goals in that facet of play. Meanwhile, for Westchester, finishing their chances. Dave Carton lamenting how after they took the lead against Portland, not putting it to bed. Says a team that controls it as much as we do must take our chances better, especially in a stretch where now we're playing 10 cup finals to determine whether or not we can get back in the postseason chase. Those keys to the game presented by Florida's Paradise Coast. Here's Obregon. Dinks it to Makic. Back for Obregon, and there's the opener. The standard bearer of goal scoring in League One strikes again. J.C. Obregon Jr. makes it 1-0. Make it goal 11 of the season for J.C. Obregon to pace everyone in the Golden Boot race. Flicks it to Makic. You see Makic maintain his patience, and then the first time hit by Obregon. It's patient play by both front men, and Obregon will not miss many from that range. Once again, Obregon opening the scoring in the Snowbird Derby. He is a man on a mission every time he steps foot on a football pitch. And now leading the Golden Boot race comfortably. Second in as many matches against FC Naples, and this time from open play for Westchester. And that is the dream start. That goal presented by Hopsized. Well, 5 minutes in, and just like that, Westchester leading 1-0. And when talking to Dave Carton this week, he mentioned how he expected more from everyone, including J.C. Obregon Jr. Said that after we went up 1-0 against Portland, there was a clear-cut chance for Obregon from point-blank range to make it 2-0. And he says, if that goes in, their spirits demoralized, we probably find a way to see out that fixture. And Obregon himself admitted it to Dave Carton, said, I should have taken the opportunity better. And that a key inflection point of what eventually was a 3-2 defeat on their home patch on Sunday. Well, he does not make a mistake from point-blank range tonight. And just like that, Naples forced to play from behind yet again against Westchester. And here's Obregon again. And while that featured some audacity, Delgado has no issues handling that. Well, the injury report presented by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, big enough to handle serious cases, small enough to care. And you see none reported by either side, as that chance wound up in Afakuse's gloves. Although for Westchester, there is a storyline surrounding injuries this season. A lot of key players who have been absent, despite the fact that it is not reported officially in their guide. It is a laundry list of sorts. Of course, Kemar Lawrence suffering yet another injury a few weeks back. The likes of Kohn Blumstein and, of course, as well, Mink Peters have been out for quite some time. Connor McGlynn is about ready to feature in the next week or two, according to Dave Carton. So while they're getting closer to full strength, it is by no means a first choice squad for Dave Carton, and it has been the story all year. He has not had remotely his full complement of players available at one moment of the year. Well, if you are just joining us, a flying start for Westchester. And here is Bauman. Well, he was quite far off, given the effort and the space he had. I think Delgado will breathe a sigh of relief. As of now, that man, the difference maker, as he tends to be for Westchester. It is now 11 on the season, 16 in all comps. Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. continuing to stake his claim as the best goal scorer in this division. Now with a 2-goal cushion over the likes of Carson Henderlong and others throughout the league. Here's O'Connor. Farine. Heckenberg. Matt Poland, whenever you speak to him about his unheralded talents, Chris Heckenberg comes front of mind. A lockdown 6 as Onan keeps this in play. Payne closes him down quite nicely. Torres. Here's Heckenberg. We'll come back to the earlier challenge on Mark Torres. When you think about the stylistic clash between these two teams, of course, Westchester possession-oriented, a side that boasted on average 53.7% of the night. Naples, meanwhile, the second lowest average possession in the league. And it goes to show the trend that you've seen throughout USL League One. A lot of teams with lower shares of the ball excelling. And Naples and Chattanooga, of course, the prime cases. A Naples side that has so much pace on the wings. Dave Carton has mentioned to me that despite controlling the lion's share of that last match between the two sides on July 12th, it was the directness and pace that Naples played with which ultimately allowed them to claim the 3 points. That is the challenge whenever Westchester comes up against a side like this. They're in store for a counterfest at times. Here's Dengler. Himself and Breck Evans making up arguably the most experienced center back pairing in all of USL League One. Onan. This is where he's most lethal. Chips it over the top. Flag stays down for Farine. Glasser to take what presumably will be a long throw for Naples. Here's Henderlong. Charged out of trouble. Dengler flicks it. Sadie charges away. Well, fans, FC Naples is back home next Saturday against Greenville Triumph in another pivotal USL League One match. Get your tickets now before they run out. Just beyond the 10-minute threshold, as things stand, J.C. Obregon Jr.'s early strike has Westchester in front. It mimics the match script we saw on this very ground a month ago, although Obregon opened the scoring a bit later in the first half. Came on 14 minutes, and it came from the penalty spot. This terrific link up between Obregon and Erman Makic, and Obregon dispatching from close distance. And that is the difference-making moment in the opening stages of this one. And well, here's a stat that has defined Westchester's season. It is now 30 points dropped from winning positions in all competitions. They set the record earlier this month against Union Omaha. And of course, last week, jumping in front 1-0 against Portland before being unlocked 3 consecutive times before the break. Wound up falling 3-2 in that fixture. Here's Glasser. Deflected to Henderlong. Fakuse turns it wide. And he had it covered all the way at his near post. And the first test passed with flying colors by the new goalkeeping signee. Henderlong does well to nearly wrestle this inside the near post. Fakuse got a strong palm to it. And now the first corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Kevin O'Connor standing over it. Within swing. Henderlong a touch, and it's in! Naples firing right back, and it's another candidate in the Golden Boot race that strikes. Henderlong makes it 1-1. Tit for tat. In-swinging ball, Henderlong gets just enough of a boot on it. There's appeals for contact on Bobby Pierre. They're waved away, and just like that, Naples is level. Carson Henderlong, a 10th of the season in league play, and he keeps pace with Obregon in the Golden Boot race. 1-1. Well, that goal also presented by Hopsized, and just like that, we are all square. Westchester yet again pegged back. And there is that familiar match script that once again has popped up. Carson Henderlong, a 10th of the season in league play, a 12th in all comps. Someone who has been a revelation since dropping down from the USL Championship. He has been a man on a goal-scoring mission since signing that contract with Naples in March. And now Pierre jumps over the top of him. Well, it was interesting talking to Matt Pullen this week about the type of players he looks for in his side as you get another look at this physical coming together between Pierre and Henderlong. He mentioned to me that the number one thing he looks for are players with a chip on their shoulder and players who are hardworking. He says talent can be made up for with hard work. And Carson Henderlong, he has said, is the prime example of a grinder. Someone who, after spending a year with Indy 11 and only featuring in a handful of league matches as a reserve forward in his first pro season, was offered an open tryout with Naples in League One. And he said many forwards, especially forwards who played in the championship, may scoff at that offer. Carson Henderlong was more than willing to take it. And he came down, excelled in the open tryout as Matt Pullen expected, and now has turned that into one of the better goal-scoring seasons this year. As this is delivered in by Johnson, charged away only as far as Payne. That is the type of player Naples has in Carson Henderlong, someone who does not have an ego in that regard. It's all about doing whatever it takes to make a career for himself and his teammates. And here he is again, picks out Onan. O'Connor not on the same wavelength, that's Farine. Well, fans, the USL and the CBS Sports Network kicks off September with a League One battle. Playoff contender Spokane Velocity FC take on newcomer Westchester SC. Sunday, September 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. What a fixture that should be. Westchester yet again taking its national TV spotlight next week. I'm sure that man is pleased with his side's retort. Matt Pullen, his first year at the helm of this FC Naples squad, someone who has made the Southwest Florida area a home base for him over the better part of the last decade. Knows the area extremely well and has talked about the importance of bringing a winning team to this region. And, well, they've been greeted by terrific fan support. And Matt Pullen has built a squad that is a winner. One that now finds itself in a prime position to claim a postseason spot, 10 points clear of the playoff line. We've already spoken about the desired identity. He wants players who are willing to work, in many ways play with a blue-collar identity, so to speak. Physical in the way they log challenges, direct in the way they break, and he may have found lightning in a bottle with this group because they check every box. Onan. Henderlong nearly had a pop. Comes loose for Torres. Farina's offside. Well, there is Dave Carton, Matt Pullen's counterpart this evening. First-year head man of the expansion club that is Westchester SC. Someone who's known for his attack-minded progressive style. And when talking to him this week, he said something very interesting to me in the sense that we are one of the best sides in the league when we have the ball. The issue is we are disorganized without it. And he felt the Portland match was a microcosm of the problems they've been experiencing all season. A team that, when they are able to play with it, can produce some very special things. And the Ermin Makic opener was the prime example. But out of possession, they struggle. And here is Torres through on goal. Fakuse off his line to turn it away. Now O'Connor, and drives it over the bar. Well, on cue, right? Torres times his run well, unlocks the Westchester back line. It's quality instincts from Fakuse to emerge and close down the angle. And this was more of a hit and hope from O'Connor in the end. These are the issues Westchester's experiencing, remaining compact at the back. And especially without Rashid Teta in the squad this evening, that has been further compounded. Henderlong, Naples goal scorer. If you're a fan of the Golden Boot race, this is the match for you. Of course, Obregon leading it and opening the scoring, and Henderlong now right behind him on his heels with 10 to his name. Beyond the mere playoff implications are that underlying tale. Torres with numbers in support. Plays it wide to Farine. Just beyond the returning ball, the returning run, I should say, of Torres. Into the gloves of Fakuse. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish-language sports network. Friday, September 5th, Phoenix Rising FC take on Las Vegas Lights FC at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. As you see Sadie here break forward, cuts in on that left foot, and just curls it off the top of the bar. Peeling it took a deflection, and it did not. Anyway, back to the information. It's at 10:30 Eastern, and Saturday, September 6th, Rhode Island FC score off against Lou City at 7 p.m. Eastern. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. We are just about midway through this first half. Obregon opening the scoring after just 5 minutes of play. And then the response 9 minutes later from Carson Henderlong. Westchester, of course, entered tonight with the league record 30 points dropped from winning positions. As of now, that number would climb to 32, and there's still plenty of football left to be played. This is a lovely ball from Cisneros. O'Connor onto it! Excellent stop by Fakuse, who once again gets the angle 100% right. Sensational ball. And O'Connor forced a bit wide. This allows Fakuse the time he needs to close down the angle. And Naples will settle for just a corner, which is presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. O'Connor yet again over it. Once again to the near post, and it's Henderlong again! He is a set-piece madman! 2-1 Naples!
Number 9, Carson!
It is an identical corner kick routine, and this time a cleaner header from Henderlong to the far post. and he makes it a brace inside the opening 25. You are watching a master at work, folks. Goal 11 of the season, goal 2 tonight, and 2-1 to FC Naples. That goal presented by Hopsized, and Naples has once again flipped it on its head in the Snowbird Derby. From 1 down to 1 up. Both goals off set pieces. They mirror each other quite spectacularly, and it is the same beneficiary who rises like a salmon to make it 2-1.
FC Naples goal by Henderlong.
For the second consecutive match, Westchester, after striking first, finds themselves playing from behind. And for those curious, we are now all square in the Golden Boot race. 11 apiece for Obregon and Henderlong. The only lads to make an imprint on the score sheet to date. If you're Dave Carton, you have to be incensed. It is 2 goals of near identical varieties. His squad well and truly on the back foot. O'Connor strolling ahead. Bauman intervenes. This is a late tackle, and it's one that may yield him a yellow. And that it does. I stand corrected. There was no yellow card in that hand from our lead official. You see Bauman slide in right into the back of O'Connor. You can argue perhaps it should have been yellow. Daniel Bauman has gotten off the hook for the time being. It's a rather appetizing position for a set piece. Dengler and O'Connor. O'Connor driving it goalward and took a touch off the wall for yet another corner. And if you're Westchester, you have to be quaking a bit. The last 2 Anderson corner kicks have yielded Naples goals. And this corner kick yet again sponsored by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. I don't think it will be any question who's a target and where the target lies. It's just a question of whether they can mark him. O'Connor yet again. Drives it beyond Henderlong this time. Westchester does just about enough to run it out. Obregon giving chase. Does win it rather nicely. Fouled in the process. Guzin and Johnson hoping to rectify the run of play. Since that Naples equalizer, very little to write home about for Westchester in possession. Guzin driving it forward and dinks it to the back stick. Runs all the way through and nobody can get a touch before it reaches Delgado. Decent routine this. Right off the training ground, you see Guzin looking for a bevy of targets. Both Makic and Palma not far off. I think Delgado will breathe a sigh of relief there. Heckenberg tracking this down. Well, he has to be ecstatic with how his side has responded since going down. Remember, entering tonight, had not scored a goal in the previous 2 matches. Back-to-back scoreless draws at Madison and then at Knoxville. What a welcome return home this has been for Naples. Their last goal had been scored at home in the late stages of the first half of that 2-1 victory against Texoma. And they bag another pair here in the first half of play tonight. Both off set pieces, which, with the exception of counterattacks, has been arguably Naples' top source of tallies. Here's Johnson. Westchester just hoping to reestablish a foothold here. Payne. Toward the back post. Makic runs it down. Now Powder, who's deputizing at left back in Josh Drack's absence. Drack, of course, suspended with that second yellow card he picked up in the late stages of the Portland match. Bauman. Payne. Just about at the 30-minute threshold. It was Westchester in front inside 5 minutes. It has been the Carson Henderlong show ever since. Goals in the 14th and 23rd from corners have allowed Naples to flip the match on its head. And in the second Snowbird Derby meeting, the scoreline is exactly what the first was. 2-1 to Naples. Payne. Makic does keep this in play. Overzealous in his attempts to win it back. Well, fans, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Half hour gone, and Labada 239 is likely enjoying what they're seeing. FC Naples well on their way to what would be an 8th consecutive league match without a defeat. Plenty left to see out, though. Sadie. Clattering into Heckenberg. Referee waves play on. That may serve to benefit Naples. Farine. Henderlong. Linking well with Farine! Just wide. And what a goal that would have been. Naples looked sharp. A well-oiled machine in the final third. And they nearly delivered a goal of the week contender. Henderlong and Farine linking, a first-time hit that he just drives wide of Facuse's net. And I don't believe the Westchester goalie had it covered.
Due to the high temperature at tonight's match, the referee has
hydration break on the pitch. Temperatures relatively high in the Naples area this evening, as it tends to be this time of year. 87 degrees and partly cloudy. And of course, if anyone knows anything about the Southwest Florida area, humidity at a high at this time of the season. And that Poland side has caught fire both over the course of the last few matches and in the final third tonight. Dave Carton imploring his side for a response. A team that has shown a capacity to win points back from losing positions. But lately, not many happy results in that regard. A side that has only won one official match since their road victory at Bree Stevens Field on June 18th. And it was a forfeit over Spokane Velocity, a match they actually lost 3-2 in reality. Dave Carton's side, though, has been good enough to get results in a lot of these contests, and he's hoping that maybe they get the rub of the green. Here's a look at all of the events that have transpired. Another fast start for Westchester. Inside 5 minutes, Erman Makic playing it back to Obregon, who bashes it in first time. And Westchester could have been dreaming about a rare away victory here in Naples, but Carson Henderlong has put an end to that dream for the time being. The equalizer, an acrobatic finish on 14 minutes at the near post. Appeals for the contact on Bobby Pierre ignored by our lead official, and then this much cleaner. Henderlong, a flick on header, running all the way to the back post, and no chance for Enrique Facuzé. And inside 25 minutes, Naples had flipped it on its head. And that is where we find ourselves at the business end of this first half. Westchester giving away yet another early advantage. And now with work to do if they hope to put themselves back in a position to come away from this one with a result. You have to wonder what Dave Carton's message is to the boys. He said over the course of these last few weeks, he's had to be more direct. He understands that at the end of the day, they can't afford to keep losing matches and remain in the playoff place, especially, or in the playoff chase, excuse me, especially at this point in the season. Now 8 points off the pace entering the evening with 10 matches to play. He said we have 10 cup finals left. We have to win a fair few of them. Otherwise, we may go by the wayside, and that's what nobody wants at this stage. Heckenberg. Here's Evans, arcing this in. Facuzé off his line, and he wins that battle. What is an interesting move, signing a goalkeeper at this point in the season. But Dave Carton saying that they've needed to provide some more competition at that position, and he's raved about Facuzé, someone who he says brings character, personality, communication that he feels their defense has lacked. And it has led to an interesting game in the dressing room. Of course, Andrew Hammersley was the regular starter, now dropped to number 3 on the depth chart. So that was a tough conversation with Hammersley this week, but he's a consummate professional who's taken it in stride. And Dane Jackman, the Loudoun loanee, once again occupies the bench this evening. In addition to all of that, Westchester has an academy product who also plays goalkeeper on their bench. Not featuring in the squad here this evening, though. This bashed forward to Makic. Evans first to it. Cisneros backs him up. When you analyze the ups and downs of Naples in its inaugural season, it becomes an interesting talking point. It seemed that, of course, set the record for longest unbeaten run in all comps to begin an inaugural season with 9. Went through a rut with 1 win in the next 9 from late May to late June. As we mentioned, they have stabilized. Matt Pullen attributing that to a much improved defensive performance. A fair few clean sheets in that span. Ever since that last Westchester match, which has seemed to be a turning point for Naples, they've been able to rack up results consistently, and hoping to do so again here this evening. Here's Sadie driving in on his left. Now Kuzin. This is Noah Powder. Decent cross. Headed away before it can reach Obregon. Only as far as Payne, though. Drives it in again. Obregon. Powder. And Farine runs it down with aplomb. Maybe a chance to break now. Glasser bombing ahead. He does keep this in play. He has Henderlong with him, and others joining. Farine, Tordonen. Payne intervenes in the nick of time, and just out for a corner. That is Naples at their best. Numbers flooding forward. A well-organized convoy of attackers. And Jaden Onen just inches away from steering that on target. Stephen Payne gets his boots in the way to keep Westchester within striking distance for now. Another Anderson corner kick. Trust your home to Anderson. Kevin O'Connor has been lethal in these scenarios throughout the first half. In-swinger again, and Fakuse does well to collect. Maybe took a parting gift after the fact. It's brave. Fakuse off his line, it jumps into the thicket of Naples players, and it appeared the collision with Jake Dengler is what has caused him some considerable discomfort. Not much he could do about the second goal. You could argue at the first, maybe he should have done a little better on his near post, albeit likely saw it late in the thicket of bodies that were impairing his vision. Other than that, rather sound between the sticks. And now this gives us our chance to let you know that soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Well, 40 minutes gone. Naples in the driver's seat, courtesy of a Carson Henderlong masterclass. A brace in the first half, both on set pieces. And he continues to make a menace of himself as Onen is sent tumbling. And Bobby Pierre's name will enter the book. First man on either side to be cautioned. It is the 23-year-old Bobby Pierre.
A yellow card has been issued to Westchester's
Dives in pretty aggressively here, and Onen collateral. Unsurprisingly, he's booked, and that yellow card is presented by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, big enough to handle serious cases, small enough to care. O'Connor. This is Johnson, former longtime Charlotte Independence man that followed Dave Carton out to Westchester. Obregon. If there's anyone to get them back on a level playing field, it would be number 29 in white. Palma. Direct for Obregon and out of play. Fans, FC Naples is back home next Saturday against Greenville Triumph in another pivotal USL League One match. Get your tickets now before they run out. Naples, a nice little run of home fixtures in the midst of 4 and 6. They round it out against Greenville next week. It's Payne's cross deflected out of play, and Westchester's first corner in quite some time.
Westchester brought to you by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson.
Dean Guzin standing over it. He's known for a decent delivery from these scenarios. Works it in toward the heart of the area, and just deflects wide. There are appeals for a potential handball. And they'll give another corner kick to Westchester instead. You see here, does come off Jake Dengler's arm, albeit in a natural position. And that corner presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Now toward the back post. I believe the referee's just gotten in the way there. So ultimately, the chance comes to nothing, and Obregon seems displeased by that state of affairs. Farine. Torres. Now Heckenberg. A veteran of USL League One, spending last year with Central Valley. Fuego. Maybe his talents got overlooked because Fuego, of course, struggled mightily last season. They are not getting overlooked now, playing meaningful football as the key pivot in that Naples 4-1-4-1. Cleans up everything like a magic eraser in the center of the park. Guzin. Obregon. Hoping to switch the play. Doesn't quite reach Sadie. And a reckless challenge that earns him a yellow. That yellow card presented by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, big enough to handle serious cases, small enough to care. Sponsored by the exclusive personal injury attorneys of FC Naples. Well, another look here, and Sadie upends what appears to be Julian Cisneros.
There will be a minimum of 5 minutes of added time in the first half. Added time is presented by Classic Diamond Plumbing.
It's 5 minutes of added time. Stoppage time is presented by Tide Cleaners. As things stand, Naples well on their way to entering halftime with a 2-1 lead that may have looked rather unlikely after Obregon opened the scoring, but it would be a merited advantage. Ever since that Henderlong equalizer, Westchester has yet to truly reimpose itself. Farine to Glasser on the underlap. Glasser does quite well here. Toward the byline. Cross had far too much on it. Sadie, snatched back by Cisneros. Now Dean Guzin drawing our referee's ire. You wonder how many of these are starting to become frustration challenges for Westchester. A side that, once again, would have been thinking about a possible 3 points after their early opener. Ever since, have lost control of the fixture. Clever flick, it runs its way to Henderlong. Pierre intervenes, but out for yet another corner. He is a handful for any defender, and he has manipulated this Westchester defense to perfection through 45 minutes. This corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Kevin O'Connor gets another bite at the apple. Already 2 assists from scenarios like these. Floats it towards the back post. It's still loose and somehow doesn't find its way in. All the way across the face of goal, but nobody in blue there to get the final touch. It's just a nasty, unfortunate hop, and I believe Daniel Bauman's done just enough to force it back wide with Chris Heckenberg lingering. Taken again by O'Connor, and this much more comfortable for Fakuse. I don't think the corner review, defensive corner review in particular, will be fun on the film session come Monday morning. Sadie looking ahead to Obregon, has some space. Good stop from Delgado. There is the first warning shot we've truly seen since Naples' equalizer from Westchester. Powder. Into the final minute of the added 5. This is Obregon. Sadie, former longtime USL Championship man. Nobody there to get on the end of that cross. Cleared only as far as Bauman, though. This likely the final sojourn forward for Westchester. Guzin. Hunts Obregon. Onan runs it free. Maybe one chance to break. This is Cisneros. We're beyond the added 5 minutes. Still Cisneros down in the box. And the referee has deemed it a foul. But they say outside the area. Yellow shown to Palma. What a break that might be for Westchester. Well, that yellow card is sponsored by the exclusive personal injury attorneys for FC Naples, the law offices of Markel Shapiro. I tell you what, you can make a very strong case that this is a penalty. And maybe Westchester has gotten away with one. Palma, of course, standing on the edge of the area when it happened, but both feet of Cisneros in the box. This sets up Naples for one final set piece before intermission. It is Henderlong and Onan, a dynamic duo in these scenarios, standing over it. Henderlong to take, headed away by Johnson. Here to the edge of the area, and claimed by Fakuse, and that is where we'll leave things. Well, an eventful first half sees FC Naples take a deserved 2-1 lead into the locker room. That man, the man of the hour, 2 set-piece headers, allowing Naples to turn it from 1-0 down to 2-1 up inside 25 minutes. And from there, Naples looked the more likely to add a third after that. It was a strong opening 45 and change from FC Naples, looking to see things out and continue their surge towards the top of the USL League One table. At the end of 45 minutes, despite a fast start by Westchester, they find themselves trailing 2-1 here in Naples. We'll step aside briefly here from the Paradise Coast Sports Complex when we return a look around USL League One. Stick with us. Off to Onan from a tight angle, and it ripples in. Linking with Henderlong, down in the area, finishes anyway. And Naples is in front.
More tables, more entertainment. More slots. More fun. More than you expected. There's more in paradise at Seminole Casino Hotel, Immokalee.
We welcome you back to Naples. We're at halftime, presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. The scoreline reads FC Naples 2, Westchester SC 1 in the second edition of the Snowbird Derby. Well, let's get a further look inside FC Naples with the latest edition of the Extra Time podcast.
And welcome into Extra Time, a weekly video podcast with Fox 4 and FC Naples, where we take you behind the scenes every week for the first season of professional soccer here in Southwest Florida. I'm Ryan Kruger, and it is the Snowbird Derby against Westchester SC. So let's dive right in with the gaffer, Matt Poland.
The guys enjoyed having a little bit of time off to refresh mentally and physically, but they're definitely, you go too long without a game and you get excited to get back out on the pitch. 2 games back to back, which is a quick turnaround, with the Wednesday being an away game and Saturday being home. So it's kind of, you get the break ahead of time, which is nice. But now it's, as you said, quick turnaround between the games.
Different sports, it's different, right? Like I know in baseball, those guys want to be out every single day, especially if they're hot, want to work on that swing. Golf's kind of the same way. With soccer, though, is it good to have a week off? That way you can rest your legs, rest your body, or is it better to just kind of every week you're sticking to the routine?
And answer the question, yes. And truly, I believe that. I think in the shorter term, anytime you take a break has the potential of knocking you out of flow and rhythm. But then longer term, having breaks are necessary. You have to find times and moments to get away. This being an athlete can be so consuming. You're always thinking of the next game. You're thinking about the training. You're thinking about, am I going to start? Am I going to play? You're thinking about how the team did last game. You're thinking about how the team's going to do the next game. It just sits in your mind constantly, let alone the travel and playing every week for, 7 months straight, and what that does to your body. So it can be a challenge short term to have the break, but I think long term, as we're building for the last 10 games of the regular season, it's a really positive time to kind of let the guys get some of that reset and then get back on the field and play, especially the way we play. We're at our best when we outwork the other team. That's kind of one of our biggest takeaways is if we don't outwork the other team, it's going to be probably nearly impossible for us to get a result. That's one of our non-negotiables to have success, is that level of work and output. And when you play that way week in and week out, it's important to maximize your rest as well, so that you can be fresh to defend with the level of intensity that we've been doing so far.
Join us every week on Extra Time.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
We don't stop chanting, we don't stop drumming,
yelling and screaming and chanting.
Back from the dead in the 90th minute!
We'll follow them wherever, pretty much. That's just the love that we have for our team.
on me. Tell them this life, yeah.
Strikes with the right and opens the scoring. A dream start for the home side. Wow, what a strike from Westchester, and it's Prince Sadie.
Hey, same shirt. Is it? Well, yours is new, obviously.
It only looks new. That's because he takes it to Tide Cleaners, where we keep clothes looking newer 50% longer. At Tide Cleaners, we care about your clothes as much as you do.
How's it look?
Newer 50% longer.
Awesome. Hey, same order.
Head to my.tidecleaners.com to get started.
We're welcoming you back to Naples, where at halftime, presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System, FC Naples leads Westchester SC by a 2-1 scoreline, falling behind early but flipping it on its head before the break in this second rendition of the Snowbird Derby. It's now time to get a look around the league, starting with our news and notes from around USL League One. And how about Sporting Cascades FC announced USL Eugene announcing their name ahead of their inaugural campaign next year. Meanwhile, a bevy of Academy products such as James Sneddon for Richmond Kickers, all making the team of the week recently. And then finally, Greenville Triumph, the last League One team standing, upsetting Indy 11 in the Jägermeister Cup quarterfinals, now into the semis to take on Hartford on September 10th. Looking ahead at our scores from around the league, well, we're the only match currently going on with a goal in it. Chattanooga and Navy Alta in that clash in the top 6 at 0-0. Meanwhile, Tormenta and Madison level as well. Earlier today, though, Knoxville earning a hard-fought victory over Spokane. And how about Portland? 4-2 victors over Charlotte Independence to reclaim a spot inside the top 8. What a result that is for Hearts. Upcoming schedule-wise for FC Naples, presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System, care for every goal. Here's what they have coming up. 3 away matches in the next 5. They host Greenville Triumph in a huge Southeastern clash next Saturday before a pair of away matches at Charlotte and Portland. And then as you head further down the schedule, that match at Omaha could determine Omaha's playoff fate, so keep your eye on that. Meanwhile, for Westchester, their schedule also presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. This is a crucial stretch for them, especially if they do not get points here this evening. That Richmond match on Wednesday is a massive playoff 6-pointer between a pair of teams below the playoff line. And then as you head further down, winnable matches potentially against Texoma, even Ford Madison. They can claim 3 wins in these next 5. They're right back in the playoff chase. They drop points in all of them, though, and they're pretty much out of contention ahead of the final month of the season. And when you look at where these teams stand in the playoff chase right now, as things stand, FC Naples in line for the 3 points in the standings presented by WM. Meanwhile, Westchester, they would now be 9 points off playoff pace. If they are to drop all 3 points here this evening, it would be another devastating blow to their rapidly dwindling playoff aspirations. Well, that is your look around USL League One. We will take a quick breather here from Naples, and when we return on a halftime show, we'll look back at our first half. Stick with us here from Paradise Coast Sports Complex.
The more you explore Florida's Paradise Coast, the more it becomes clear. With 30 miles of soft white sands, all is beachy in paradise. With endless outdoor adventures waiting for you, all is exciting in paradise. And with award-winning restaurants eager to wow you, all is delicious in paradise. So plan your visit soon, because if you want a getaway where all is perfect, only paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
Luxury isn't just about where you live, it's about how you live. At Parker Hudson Homes, we craft bespoke residences where elegance meets effortless comfort. From custom builds to refined remodels, every detail is designed around you, your style, your vision, your way of living. Create a home that's truly yours and discover Parker Hudson Homes today.
More tables, more entertainment, more slots, more fun. more than you expected. There's more in paradise at Seminole Casino Hotel, Immokalee.
We welcome you back to Naples. We're at halftime, presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. The scoreline reads FC Naples 2, Westchester SC 1 in round 2 of 3 Snowbird Derby meetings this year. And here we'll take a look back at the first half to see how we got to this point ahead of the final 45 minutes. What a start it was for Westchester, like it was in the first meeting. J.C. Obregon Jr. striking on our halftime highlights presented by the Lake Park Diner. This link up between Makic and Obregon dispatching inside 5 minutes to put the Golden Apple in front. And maybe they were dreaming about a hard-fought 3 points away from home, but Carson Henderlong with other ideas. 9 minutes later, a near-post flick on. He manages to disengage himself, I should say, from Bobby Pierre and wrestle it over the goal line. Maybe Enrique Facuse should do a bit better at his near post. But on this follow-up effort, he had no chance. 9 minutes later, a flick-on header from Henderlong, traveling all the way into the far left side netting, and there is no chance from Facuse between the sticks. That the difference-making moment that sees Naples in front. And when you look at our halftime stats presented by Arthrex, does an injury have you benched? Explore orthopedic treatment options at orthopedia.com, powered by Arthrex. This does tell the full story. Yes, Westchester has the bulk of the ball, but Naples, the far better of the opportunities, out shooting them, far more shots on goal. They have been the more clinical side, and oddly enough, the more creative side, which is far different than the first meeting we saw between these two teams in July. All in all, a deserved advantage for Naples, looking to see things out and make it 6 points from 6 in this newfound rivalry with Westchester SC. Of course, a derby that spawns from the Snowbird phenomenon. People from the Northeast migrating down south during the wintertime, hence why they're called Snowbirds, and hence the existence of this derby, a common path between Westchester County and Southwest Florida. Especially since COVID. Matt Pullen mentioning that since the pandemic, a lot of Northeasterners targeting Southwest Florida specifically as a spot to go during the wintertime. It was an interesting conversation about that with a longtime Southwest Florida resident. Just about set to get things back underway here in the second edition of the Snowbird Derby. Can Westchester rectify things and salvage something away from home? Or will it be FC Naples lodging another 3 points and continuing their red-hot streak? We are back underway from Paradise Coast Sports Complex. Sam Goldfarb excited to see how this one unfolds over the course of the final 45. This is Daniel Baumann. Dinks it towards the back post. Johnny Bolaños is just late to it, and he is into the action for Westchester. So at least one change for Westchester, and it comes on the front line. Johnny Bolaños in place of Ermin Makic. Substitutions are presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. So Bolaños for Makic as we get a corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Johnson with in swing. Runs all the way through. Payne dinking it back in. Now falls for Sadie. He's dispossessed rather nonchalantly by Cisneros. Guzin. Headed along by Obregon. Nearly reached Baumann, but Delgado first to it. Well, this is a promising response from Westchester. You'd expect them to come out on the front foot, try to reassert themselves after they enjoyed such a promising start. They will definitely struggle, though. This Naples back line, one of the better entities in the league, 6 clean sheets in league play, and of course back-to-back entering this evening before conceding that opener. Will be a tough nut to crack. This is a Westchester team that with the ball can create some trouble. That is the most dangerous thing about them as a squad, as Bolaños is a foot late to this. Only as far as Stephen Payne. Obregon looking for Sadie. Cisneros tracking back well. For those that are just joining us, we welcome you into Naples, Florida. It was a fast start for Westchester, as we showed you on the halftime highlights. Carson Henderlong responding with 2 set-piece goals to neutralize the early Obregon strike, though. And the scoreline reads identical to what we saw the last time these two teams met on this ground on July 12th. Still time for Westchester to change things, though. Powder darts inside on his right, drives it in, and knocked home! Daniel Bauman on the score sheet, and Westchester is level. Powder drove it in, and it appeared Bauman got a touch. Either way, Westchester knotted at 2.
Westchester goal by number 8, Daniel Bauman.
Well, you see Powder cut inside. It does run, and Bauman does get a touch. His first in league play for Westchester, and what a time for it. The cross takes a slight deflection, and it benefits Bauman considerably. But just like that, Westchester on a level playing field less than 4 minutes after the restart. There is the long-awaited response, and it is a first league goal for that man, Daniel Bauman, the native of the Netherlands, one of many Dutch presences on this Westchester roster. Someone who joined from the Australian semi-pro ranks on January 3rd, and he provides this goal presented by Hopsized. His second goal in Westchester colors. The only other one came in the US Open Cup, a 3-2 victory over New York Pancyprian Freedoms in the second round. This is Henderlong! Right at the goalkeeper, Fakuse. You can expect number 9 in blue to wreak havoc now over the course of the next 40 minutes and change. Bauman spending 5 years in the Groningen Academy. Of course, a giant Dutch entity in the Eredivisie. But someone who's also featured for the Australian Youth national team. The Dutch and Australian background. And an unlikely hero for Westchester. Remember, this is a side that has not won a match by non-forfeit variety since mid-July. Here is Bauman, the goal scorer. Obregon. Well, how will this change the trajectory of things? Guzin! Well, that was a rather daring hit, and it's not one that troubles Delgado. Guzin, though, a player that Dave Carton has challenged to provide much more in the final third. Just 1 league goal to his name. Came in what was a 3-3 draw against Tormenta earlier this month. But he has offered a number of bright moments. As now you see the armchair tacticians in full effect here in Naples, looking for ways to encourage their side to surge back in front. Well, fans, FC Naples is back home next Saturday against Greenville Triumph in another pivotal USL League One match. Get your tickets now before they run out. Far more to settle, though, in this one before they can focus on Greenville. An unlikely equalizer for Westchester, given how that first half ended. And Dave Carton's side has clawed themselves back on an even playing field. Daniel Baumann. What a time for his first league tally. Dangler. What a lovely switch this is. Stephen Payne intervenes though. Sadie. Henderlong. He's upended by Palma, who is already on a yellow, mind you. He may have escaped this time. Well, this could get interesting. Juan Palma shown a yellow card late in the first half. Get another look at the replay presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. Care for every goal. It'd be a harsh second yellow, no doubt. It certainly is a foul, though. And I believe our referee has made the proper decision there. O'Connor and Dangler stand over this. Dangler goes for goal, just over the bar. Hadfakuse scrambling. Not a bad hit at all. Goes up and down. He does not miss by much. You have to wonder if Fakuse would have had that covered had that been on frame. What an eventful first half it was for number 24, the new Westchester signee. Welcomed to the Golden Apple with a bombardment of chances from Naples in that first half. 5 shots on frame. Did his best with the efforts he faced. And as of now, kept him in it. Bolaños. Crossing it in, looking for Obregon. Comes out to Henderlong, who is always a physical menace. Farine. Oh, this is crafty. Maybe too crafty for his own good. O'Connor. It's a party in Naples right now. One of the best attended atmospheres in all of USL League One. It has been quite the home field advantage for FC Naples all season long. Another positive turnout here tonight. You hear the band in the background, Labara 239 in full force, the supporters group. And they have been loud and vocal throughout the evening. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. We are approaching the hour mark here from Naples, and as things stand, all square between FC Naples and Westchester SC in the second of 3 Snowbird Derby meetings this year. Westchester, of course, jumping in front. Henderlong firing back with 2 set-piece headers to put Naples in front before halftime. But 5 minutes after the restart, Daniel Baumann providing an equalizer after a rare lapse between our experienced center backs for Naples and Breck Evans and Jake Dangler. We find ourselves in an even contest thus far. You see the scoring summary on your screen. Henderlong was the difference maker in the first half. Daniel Baumann, after Obregon's opener, bringing Westchester back into it. And it is game on here in Naples. You wonder, as this wears on, the type of changes the coaches will be considering. Of course, Matt Poland, a side that is largely healthy at the minute, can bring on a bevy of difference makers, the likes of Ian Serro or Ian Garrett, as well as Dominic Bachstein, who's come off the bench the last few matches. We've already mentioned off the top, Westchester signing Deshane Beckford on loan from Hartford. He's on the bench for the Golden Apple tonight. He is someone with plenty of quality and class, a former Jamaican international. I think as this wears on, especially if the scoreline remains level, you'll start to see both sides throw caution to the wind. Westchester likely would be happier with a draw than Naples would be. I think Dave Carton realizes the importance of 3 points given their predicament in the league table at the moment. I don't believe he'll just lock up shop and hunt a draw. Evans, a mazy run forward from the center back. Now Guzin for Westchester. Henderlong coming deep to claim now, and picks out Glasser in an advanced position. Counter dives in, and they will come back to that challenge.
Attention fans, alcoholic beverages will stop being served around the stadium.
Take another look.
70th minute.
He does get a lot more leg than ball. At a bare minimum, it is a foul, despite his protests.
After the game.
Sets up Naples for a tight angle set piece. They're no stranger to scoring off set plays, especially this evening. 3 of their 4 goals against Westchester over the course of the 2 meetings from some form of a set piece. Keep your eye on Onan, who is not shy about having a pop, even if the angle doesn't favor him. Right in front of Labata 239. O'Connor to the back post. It's not dealt with just yet. Onan, Henderlong got a touch. Deflects back to Fakuse, who now flings it out, and the referee says he took it too quickly for his liking. There was a whistle prior to when Fakuse threw it away. Offside flag may have been raised as well, and that it was. We have hit the hour mark, and the match hangs on a knife edge, as you would expect for any derby fixture, especially at this point in the season. The Westchester side that has dropped a league record 30 points from winning positions. They have battled back from 2-1 down here. Obregon to Guzin, tries from afar. Delgado has to adjust and does so admirably. Not a bad effort. Delgado has to react rather quickly, and it nearly squirted underneath his legs. Did just enough to keep it out. Torres. This is Prince Sadie for Westchester. 32-year-old in his immaculate maturity. Guzin. Clips Farine at the heels. Guzin shown the yellow for wrapping him up. Get another look at the yellow card sponsored by the exclusive personal injury attorneys of FC Naples, the law offices of Markel Shapiro. And you see Dean Guzin clearly wrap up Andres Farine after losing it. Textbook yellow card in that context, at least. Fourth Westchester man to see yellow this evening. We have yet to see a booking in the direction of FC Naples. And hearing word that Deshane Beckford is off the bench and ready to replace Dean Guzin at the next stoppage. So a monumental debut for the Hartford Loney in a matter of moments. Farine linking with Glasser here. Torres, Heckenberg. Onan. Can't keep this in play. And here is the substitution. 27-year-old Deshane Beckford, someone who spent the last 2 years under contract with Hartford Athletic, but fell out of favor and fell out of Brandon Burke's plans going forward. Brandon Burke opting to loan him out to Westchester SC officially on Friday, but someone who's been in training all week with Dave Carton. And Carton is extremely excited about the potential he brings. That substitution presented by the Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee Moore in Paradise. It is Deshane Beckford, the native of Jamaica, former Jamaican international, who at one point 10 years ago trialed for West Ham United in England. After years of USL Championship experience, debuting for Westchester in League One. And this an attack-minded swap. Sadie shrugs off his defender. And it is still with Sadie to Beckford! What a debut it would have been if he had finished that. It was not far off by any means. The question is, did it take a touch off Delgado's gloves? Take another look. Beckford in stride, lashing at this, and it does appear it came off Delgado's palm. So a corner for Westchester. Corner kicks presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Noah Powder now standing over it in Dean Guzin's absence. Within swing, it's a dangerous ball. One that is knotted clear. Farine a chance to play out. And now plenty of space on the counter. Here's Glasser. Didn't have numbers and awaits reinforcements instead. Henderlong loses out. This is Obregon. The last man any defender wants to see sprinting at them. Obregon trying for the near post and missing wide. Will be interesting to see the relationship that forms between J.C. Obregon and Deshane Beckford. Two players who both, of course, played in the championship, never teammates though. Obregon played in Hartford around 2021-2022. Of course, Beckford didn't move to Hartford until the start of last year. A regular starter for them a year ago before falling out of favor with management this year. Someone who Brendan Burke is still very close with and values his contributions, but given the surplus of wingers in the squad, felt it was best served to loan him out to give him game time. He's launched ahead to Farine. Does keep it in play. No one there in blue to greet the cross. Fans, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Inching towards the final 20 minutes here in Naples. An even scoreline here in the Snowbird Derby between FC Naples and Westchester SC. Naples right now riding the wave of 7 matches unbeaten in league play. that looked poised to continue at halftime, but Daniel Baumann throwing a spanner in the works. We find ourselves level now in a match that frankly looks up for grabs. Bolaños is clipped by Hackenberg. And a referee has brandished a yellow card as well. Shown to Onan, who didn't appear to be involved in that coming together, but he is the first FC Naples man to be booked. Well, yes, this is Hackenberg and Bolaños who are involved on our Physicians Regional Healthcare System replay. So perhaps what Onan said after the fact is what yielded the yellow. Well, it appears Matt Poland is now starting to chase this. Ian Garrett, who has shown some capacity to bomb forward, replaces the center midfielder in Kevin O'Connor. That substitution is presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. Ian Garrett, someone who opened the year in the lineup, fell out due to injury, but has worked his way back in. Scored that opening goal against Texoma as a left midfielder after spending the bulk of the year at left back. I believe he'll be deployed in a more advanced role at this stage. Farine, what an inviting ball this is. Palma just strides over in time. I'll tell you what, these fans in the front row not shy about letting the Westchester players hear it. They've been active participants all evening, adding to this home pitch advantage for FC Naples. Bolaños, that did not come off the way he hoped. He's had finer moments in League One, that's for sure. But worth a pop, no doubt. Former Golden Playmaker in 2022 with the Richmond Kickers, part of that Kickers team that won the Players' Shield before falling in the semifinals to a Chattanooga side that made a Herculean run to the final that year, fell to Tormenta. Farine. What can he conjure? Sprinting at Powder. Outside of the boot, cross. Just beyond the reach of Garrett. That's better from Naples, though. Another change for Westchester, and it is Samori Powder who enters the action for Stephen Payne. And this definitely an attack-minded swap. The intent is clear from Dave Carton at this stage. Replacing a proper fullback for the brother of Noah Powder in Samori, a dynamic winger on his day that can also be deployed as an outside back. And now Noah and Samori, the two outside backs in this formation for Westchester. That substitution is presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. Powder for Payne. Beckford giving chase to this and a couple of footsteps shy. Samori Powder, best known during his time in his Westchester kit for that sensational goal to open the scoring at Spokane in early May. An acrobatic aerial finish with his boots that provided liftoff for the Golden Apple against the league leaders. It was unfortunately a match in which they still fell short by a 3-1 deficit. Provided the electrifying moment to open things rather early on. Obregon. Here is Samori Powder. He and his brother Noah, just the rare set of brothers in League One to link up on a goal. Came in the Richmond 4-4 draw at City Stadium in late April. Here is his brother Noah. Flick from Beckford just off the mark. Here's Garrett. One of the many players that Matt Pullen has found as under-the-radar talents. He's spoken about players who feel that maybe they've been undervalued throughout their career and work their tails off to become properly valued are the guys he looks for. This is Glasser. Henderlong. Vereen now. Flashing cross, nodded away. Dengler. Torres. Garrett. Cisneros. Palma steps. Here is Bolaños, who's moved centrally now to accommodate Beckford. Henderlong wins it back, and numbers in support. Across to Vereen! Excellent save from Fakuse at point-blank range. Onen now. Heckenberg over the top to Onen. Fakuse on top of it. What a bit of goalkeeping that is. Enrique Fakuse keeping Westchester level. Unselfish from Henderlong. A point-blank effort from Vereen, and Fakuse with the outstretched leg denies him. That is why they brought him in. The follow-up ball also very inventive, but nothing coming of it because Fakuse so quick off his line. And what will that moment mean for Westchester as we inch into the final 15? As of now, Fakuse their savior. Samori Powder dispossessed. Henderlong looking forward. Fakuse wins the foot race. Well, there is that character and personality on full display. Not shy about putting himself in harm's way and cutting out so many budding opportunities at the source. Two Naples subs beckoning as they continue to chase. And one of them is Ian Cerro. Luca Perpa also getting set to enter as we hit a hydration break as well. Cerro and Perpa, a double whammy of attacking talent, entering as Matt Pullen's side continues to chase a winner. And let's take a look at how we got to this point. What a snowbird derby this has been. A flying start for Westchester. J.C. Obregon Jr. fielding this, and after an unselfish back and forth with Makic, Obregon dispatching on this first time effort to make it 1-0 inside 5 minutes. And maybe Westchester would cruise, but Carson Henderlong and Naples had other ideas. On 14 minutes, Henderlong an acrobatic finish to take it beyond Fakuse at the near post. You can argue that maybe Fakuse should do better with this. You can argue maybe it's a foul. Neither matter because Henderlong clinical in front of the net, and then he struck again, this time with his head, nodding it into the far left corner to put Naples in front. And it looked like it would be a familiar match script for another heartbreaking defeat for Westchester. But 3 minutes after the restart, Daniel Baumann striking after Noah Powder manages to cut inside and drill this towards goal. A fortuitous deflection takes it right into Bauman's path. He bags his first league goal at quite a time for the Golden Apple to pull them level. And that is where we find ourselves, a 4-goal thriller in which it is still all to play for. It is Cerro entering, and Purpa will replace Onan. Luka Purpa enjoying a prolific August, including that equalizer at Richmond on August 2nd, and the late winner on their CBS game against South Georgia Tormenta. And Andres Farine vacating for Ian Cerro. 2 like-for-like changes on the flanks. Talking to Matt Poland about Luka Purpa this week, he mentioned that the attacking talent was always evident, but he's said that the biggest key for his recent spell of prolific displays has actually been his shift defensively. Someone who's played in the center of the park for large spells of this year. Matt Poland mentioning that at halftime of the Richmond match, with Naples struggling, he had an animated discussion with Luka Purpa in which he demanded more of him defensively. He says the response was immediate, and ever since, he has been a two-way player on both sides of the ball that has excelled. Now he comes off the bench looking to be a game changer for Naples in the second half here tonight. Both substitutions, by the way, presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee. Purpa, his first touch. Well, shape-wise, you wonder how things change. Does Purpa play on the flanks or not? Heckenberg, now Cerro, darts inside. Has it knocked out to Obregon. Dangler cuts out that counter at the source. That bruising defender, befitting of a USL League One veteran. Spent last year at South Georgia Tormenta as the captain of the Ibises, and has now partnered Breck Evans so well over the course of this season. Center back pairing that has played so many minutes together over the course of this 2025 campaign. Powder. Plenty of space to roam for Samori Powder. Has options as well. Powder tries for goal, and what a stop that is. Lamlo Delgado had to react very quickly, and react quickly he did. And there is that cannon of a right boot Samori Powder boasts. One of the top athletic talents in this Westchester squad. Here he is again, taking on Cisneros and winning a corner. What an effort this was from Samori Powder. Some would argue it's audacious. He just puts his laces through it. And Lamlo Delgado had to cover his near post very fast. That by far the fastest effort he's had to face. And another corner presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. What can Noah Powder conjure here? Final 10 minutes here from Naples. And back and forth we go. Haymaker after haymaker. Within swing. Dangler heads away. This has the feeling that we may have another goal in it. It's a question of who will provide it, though. Westchester losing so many heartbreakers like these that have come down to the wire. The Omaha match is probably the most glaring, which they opened the scoring midway through the second, caught out twice in the final 10 minutes, including the 95th minute winner. Matt Poland side hasn't had to procure many late dramatic goals this season. Can they change that here tonight? Well, fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to uslchampionship.com or uslleague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Well inside the final 10. Still knotted at 2-2 in round 2 of the Snowbird Derby. Torres. Looking through to Henderlong, who is marked by a sea of white kids. Now Beckford. Beyond the reach of Bolaños. Cerro. You can expect fireworks on both ends in the closing stages of this one. Neither team making any semblance of defensive substitutions. They're all gunning for it at this stage. It's USL League One at its chaotic best. Perpa. Switching the play, looking for Garrett. Knotted away by Samori Powder. Sadie dragged down by Cisneros. Our referee says play on. Perpa. Garrett. Arcing it in. Powder gets his head to it. Fakuse comes to punch, claiming he was undercut. And it appears he's losing this argument, as Prince Sadie is still prone on the pitch. This is a concerning sight. Westchester's second leading goal scorer outside of Obregon. 32-year-old who has enjoyed a massive breakout campaign under Dave Carton after years of in and out of various 11s throughout USL Championship. You see here on our Physicians Regional Healthcare System instant replay, dragged down, clearly feeling an ailment after the fact. Carton may be forced to consider further alterations.
Small enough to care. Visit attorneyshapiro.com.
Has to be a tense feeling on that touch line. So many close results not breaking their way. They've had real chances to turn this into 3 points away from home, which many would not have expected given how tame they looked towards the end of the first half. As of now, it seems Prince Sadie may try to walk this off. On the other side, he looks like a cool customer given the circumstances. The squad has been dealt some considerable scares, although nothing too glaring since the Bauman equalizer. It's another corner kick, though, presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Cerro takes with in swing. It was towards the near post. Headed out by Evans in the end. Fans, FC Naples is back home next Saturday against Greenville Triumph in another pivotal USL League One match. Get your tickets now before they run out. And run out they probably will, because Naples fills this venue so well. 4,600 seats at the Paradise Coast Sports Complex. And what has been turned into one of the better home pitch advantages in USL League One. Building a brand, especially in Naples, which only houses about 20,000 people. Remarkable. There's a love for the game here. It was untapped for so long. And the FC Naples front office has unlocked it in this region. Let's turn this venue into a must-attend on the USL League One bucket list. Brian Vasquez is entering for Westchester, it seems. There's your look at the man that pulled them level moments ago, and he may be the lad that vacates. Daniel Bauman. It was his equalizer in the right place at the right time that pulled Westchester level. He's done his part. He's replaced by Andrew Jean-Baptiste. Meanwhile, Vasquez will likely replace Sadie on the right flank It appears Sadie is not able to walk off that knock. Vasquez, 19 years of age, a Salvadoran youth international. Into the action in a key spot for Westchester. While Jean-Baptiste provides some defensive stability in his return from injury in place of the center mid in Bauman. Cerro. Jean-Baptiste bashes out of trouble. Cisneros in a tussle with Vasquez, and the former wins it. By the way, both substitutions moments ago presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. Heckenberg and Garrett in the vicinity of this free kick. Heckenberg floats it in. Decent ball. Palma heads it. Only as far as Perpa. Closing stages of these 90 minutes. And all eyes will be on our fourth official in a matter of moments. The question is, can one of these teams provide separation at the death? Cisneros. Knocked forward. Torres. Evans floats forward towards Perpa. Some frustration from Bolaños, and it will yield him a booking. Unnecessary reaction. This yellow card sponsored by the exclusive personal injury attorneys of FC Naples, the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro. And it is perhaps one final booking for Johnny Bolaños and Westchester. Seem frustrated that he's not able to keep it in play and pings it away for good measure. Vasquez gets involved in the tussle. And now it's beginning to look like a proper derby out here. Heckenberg, another free kick. And a chance to create more uncertainty for Westchester defensively. We are just about at 90 minutes. Arc did. Headed away by Johnson. Beckford, heavy touch out of play. Stoppage time is presented by Tide Cleaners. It is 5 minutes.
The second half, added time presented by Classic Diamond Plumbing.
We are now into the thick of the dramatic. Is there more late drama on the cards in USL League One? Garrett. Henderlong. Turns his defender. Still Henderlong. Effort deflected away. Dangler switching it. Garrett. Crossing it low. Powder now away. Right now Westchester cannot find a route out. Naples, it's caution to the win time. In desperate pursuit of another 3 points. Torres. Driving forward. Picks out Luca Perpa. Still can't thread it through the sea of white. Perpa again. Cerro. Perpa. Floats wide. Garrett was offside. Finally, a chance for Westchester to clear its lines. As things stand, if this result were to hold, Naples would remain fourth, 6 points off the top spot. Westchester, meanwhile, would only knife the gap between themselves and the playoff line to 8 points. Would be a hard-fought draw, but not a lot of ground made up. In fact, none come the end of the evening. Beckford looking to touch it past Glasser, and he fouled him in the process. We are midway through the added 5 minutes. You figure, especially for Naples, all Route 1 from here, looking to maximize pressure on the Westchester back line. Just manufacture uncertainty. Powder. Vasquez. Out wide to Samori Powder. Bypasses Garrett. Now crosses it in. Headed away by Evans. And only as far as Andrew Jean-Baptiste. Samori Powder again. Brian Vasquez. Samori Powder. And that cross well overcooked. And at this point, with each passing second, a sharing of the spoils looks increasingly likely. Continues to give chase. This likely one of Westchester's final chances to break forward. And in the final minute of the added 5. That elusive win may just have to wait, but this would be a more than admirable result against one of the top sides in the league. Obregon. Broken up by Dengler. Perhaps the final sojourn forward for either side. And it's played beyond the reach of Ian Serrell. Here's Beckford. Still not taken where our lead official Carlos Rodriguez would like it to be. This is probably their last chance. Everyone forward for Westchester. Joel Johnson, the only man over the ball. The other 9 on the fringes of the penalty area. Headed along by Jean-Baptiste. Doesn't quite reach Beckford. And there is the full-time whistle. Two teams share the spoils in round 2 of the Snowbird Derby. A 2-2 draw between FC Naples and Westchester SC. Westchester leading early, pegged back with 2 goals in rapid succession. But then Daniel Baumann salvaging a point away from home for the Golden Apple. Perhaps a layer of disappointment for Naples in the driver's seat for large spells of the first half. But this man, our waste management man of the match, WM, is driving sustainably. It's Carson Henderlong, whose first half brace powered Naples in front prior to intermission. He has been the key piece up top for Naples all season, and today no different. And now our save of the match presented by Carter Fence, or play of the match, excuse me. As you get a look at this in-swinger, it is the second goal by Carson Henderlong. It was an excellent finish presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. Care for every goal. Henderlong, this flick-on header to make it 2-1. And now time for our save of the match presented by Carter Fence. Quality Fences, trusted service for over 35 years. You see Lalo Delgado get down to his near post. A ferocious effort from Samori Powder, but Delgado able to deny the substitute and keep Naples level. Those are the standout moments of the match. And we leave things at a 2-2 draw at Paradise Coast Sports Complex. We'll step aside briefly, hear from Naples. When we return, a look back at the 90 minutes that just transpired. Stick with us. Highlights next on ESPN+. Off to Onen from a tight angle, and it ripples in. Linking with Henderlong, down in the area, finishes anyway. And Naples is in front.
Here on Florida's Paradise Coast, you can play your way. Whether you prefer an action-packed court, a leisurely round of golf, or the thrill of watching a professional soccer match, your only challenge is finding a way to do it all. So visit a luxurious playground that scores big for everything from its award-winning beaches to its incredible restaurants. Because when you want a vacation where all is perfect, only Paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
We're welcoming you back to Naples, where our full-time score presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System is FC Naples 2, Westchester SC 2 in round 2 of the Snowbird Derby, as it is now time for our full-time highlights, brought to you by Maxwell Mortgage Team, financing the world one loan at a time. And here is your look at all the standout moments. Westchester getting off to the rapid start in the 5th minute. J.C. Obregon Jr. once again striking for Westchester. You see him this first time hit, driving it beyond the reach of Lalo Delgado. Very unselfish play from Erman Makic to play it back in Obregon's path, and a flying start for the Golden Apple. But 9 minutes later, his counterpart in the Golden Boot race would have a retort. Carson Henderlong at the near post, untangling himself from Bobby Pierre and just nestling it in at the near stick to put Naples on a level playing field. And he would not be done, because 9 minutes later it was deja vu for Naples from yet another corner. Another near post delivery. This time Henderlong nods it into the far corner. This was our play of the match, the standout moment that put Naples in front. But Westchester would have a response just 4 minutes after intermission. Daniel Baumann would strike. You see this well-designed interplay. Noah Powder manages to tuck inside and just put this in the quarter of uncertainty. It takes a fortuitous deflection, and Baumann there to greet it at the back post to pull Westchester level and salvage a point away from home in the Snowbird Derby. You look at our full-time stats presented by Arthrex. Does an injury have you benched? Explore orthopedic treatment options at orthopedia.com, powered by Arthrex. And the stats relatively even in what was an even affair. A 52-48 possession edge for Naples. Odd enough for a team that typically does not hold the possession edge in matches. And a narrow shots advantage, but both teams with 7 shots on frame, and ultimately relatively even as a result, as you see the scoreline at 2-2. The only real difference, far more yellow cards for Westchester, but avoiding any sort of red. That is where things finish in the second of 3 Snowbird Derby matches this year, and it finishes all square, a 2-2 thriller here in Naples as the sides share the spoils. Now 8 unbeaten in league play for Naples. Westchester still looking to make up ground in the postseason chase. For our terrific crew, I'm Sam Goldfarb, saying so long from Naples, where we finish at a 2-2 draw. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.